Features of the TR300 Sand Pup Spray Trailer.
This is the TR300 Sand Pup Spray Trailer, and 300 designates the gallon capacity. It's a hand agitated tank with the Sand Pup sprayer. And right up here on the tongue, because the machine has electric brakes, there's an electric brake safety control here. This has a battery in it, and so if the machine would ever come unhooked from your truck, this activates and stops the machine in its tracks. Here we have the Sand Pup sprayer. This is a 5.5 horsepower Honda engine. It's running an air compressor with an air diaphragm pump. Our controls for the engine are over here. We have an on-off switch, pull starter. This is an automatic throttle, choke, and a fuel shutoff. Now when you're done for the day, you want to get in the habit of shutting this off. That keeps the gasoline from ever getting down into the engine oil and mixing with that. This is our hand crank for our agitation. This has a 2-to-1 sprocket reduction. Makes it easy to turn. This valve down here is our main shutoff valve. We would open that to allow product to flow into our pumping system. On our lid assembly, it is lockable, and we also have a vent. That way you do not have to open the lid whenever you're applying product. The vent allows you to do that, but the vent does need to be checked weekly for possible plugging. In the back here we have our hose reel with 75 feet of spray hose. And then down at the bottom of the tank we have another valve, and this would be used to empty the tank or possibly fill a bucket for when you need to do edging. Our handheld spray wand is locked into this convenient holder for travel purposes. This machine also has water storage, 14 gallons, for flushing out the pumping system. This is a 1-inch air diaphragm pump. To start up the unit, this lever here needs to be brought up to the vertical position, and then go ahead and start the engine. This takes the compressor out, makes it easier to start the engine. So once the engine is warmed up, then you go back and you flip that lever down. The compressor will start to produce air and fill up the twin air tanks. Once the engine speed has dropped to idle, it is then time to open up the pump controls and we can start spraying. Located here is our pump on-off control. This is open, this is closed. This is a pressure regulator. We have a gauge showing us what our regulated air pressure is. Now this is preset at 80 psi, and 80 psi is typically enough that when the wand, you're spraying out the wand actually wants to raise on its own. You don't have to hold it up, it will stay right there. This is the basket strainer for the product. This is located on the suction side of the pump. These two valves are connected to our water tank. This is used for when we want to run water through the system, flush out the strainer, the pump, and send the water down to through our 75-foot hose and then out the spray wand. To do that, we would close the main tank valve, which is located up front here, and then open this valve and turn on the pump. It will automatically draw the water out and send it down through the hose and the wand. Hey, when your season is ended, it's time to winterize the unit, get the system protected. I would purchase some RV antifreeze, and there's two ways to put it in the tank. We can either remove the lid of the basket strainer and put it in there, or just pour it into the tank and making sure the main valve is open, turn on the pump, and the pump will bring it out of the tank, through the system, send it down through the hose and wand. That way you're sure that it's completely protected. And then with the water tank, disconnect the hose coming out of the tank and let that drain completely, and you'll be fully protected.